All right, welcome to it. It's Altitude After Dark, and we have a minute to go. It's your boy D-Mac. We are expected to be joined by, well, quite a few members of our Altitude Sports Radio 92.5 family. It's been one unbelievable game. So if you want to throw in your comments, please do. Broncos are leading 41-32 right now. And yeah, come on in here and what a game indeed. Vance Joseph, worst game plan this year. We'll get to the numbers, which are staggering in this one. I mean, just absolutely stunning numbers. And obviously not great by the Broncos defense. But I mean, Jameis Winston, come on in.
Contract the way that they did, you just kind of you are hoping that he is the player that he once was.
Come on in, man. Yeah. Tick, 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 tick. Good. Oh man, that's almost a touchdown. Flag in the end zone. This has been an unbelievable game. An unbelievable game. Oh, my God. Insane game. I mean, and it's not over. So it's a PI. So, you know, if you're the Browns, you're down by 2 scores. Yeah, that's definitely pass interference. Insane game. But Winston's going to Winston. Jameis Winston. Look at this. 3rd interception. Hold on to it, Cody. Well, Jesus. I just cannot get over Jameis Winston, man. I cannot get over him. He has an unbelievable night. He throws 3 interceptions, 2 for a pick six, 1 in the end zone. He's Jameis Winston, bro. So Broncos win 41-32. Well, Browns have 2 timeouts, but they're not going to do anything now. This has been a bonkers game.
No chance.
Guy Andy Lindahl. Andy, some quick comments. Insane game.
Sound down there?
Andy, can you hear me?
I got you. You got me all right?
I do. What do you want to say about this absolutely insane game?
Dude, it's a great time. Yeah, look, I'm talking to some of the fans who are out here at Hop Brow. You can see the big old TV here that we're watching it on. This is fun, though, D-Mac. You know what? Hey, get this. I'll tell you what. For the first time all year, I'm really feeling Bo Nix. I love the game tonight because guess what?
All right.
The defense didn't show up. You kind of were talking about it with Tyler on your show. I heard it on my ride out here to Hop Brow. The offense had to hang with them. And they did it in all sorts of different ways. You know, the defense really didn't show up tonight. They finally showed up at the end. Now, look, we were treated to the full Jameis Winston experience.
Unbelievable, isn't it? It's unbelievable.
There's interceptions, there's great plays, there's whatever. But look, man, they had to have this one. They're not a great team yet. They're on their way to good team. This is a good win. I know that Cleveland's 3-8. The defense is legit. I had a good time. You got this win. I was a little nervous about this one. I know you're making fun of everyone for being nervous, but I was worried that Cleveland defense was going to do some of what they did and we wouldn't handle it well. Bo had some mistakes. Guess what? It wasn't a perfect Bo Nix game tonight, and it didn't matter. He didn't go into a shell. He didn't pout. He kept gunslinging it. Sean trusted him. Now, I wish they'd have leaned on the run game at times a little bit more. This is a damn good win, man. This is the kind of win that hopefully gets you to the playoffs, right? Right?
Yeah, hey, technically it's a come-from-behind fourth quarter win, too. They were down.
You want to get some of the people on? Hey, we got some fellows over here yelling.
Sure.
Fellas, come get on the podcast. Come join Altitude real quick. I need my guy Nick's here. Come see us. Here, I got a guy in a big old Knicks jersey.
All right. All right.
Here, I'll give him a mic.
All right. Fan reaction.
Go ahead. Tell us. That's D-Mac. Say hey to D-Mac.
Hey,
We're
D-Mac,
Altitude.
how you doing?
Good to see you, man. What do you think?
Tell them what you think.
Oh, my God. The defense gave up a lot. They're legit, though. I think the defense is a good squad. They just didn't have Jameson. They didn't put any pressure on him.
Dude,
and when they
Jameis Winston threw for 497 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions, including 2 pick six.
The Jameis Winston effect, baby. 30 for 30. That's what you get.
Jerry, check this out. That was the best receiving night any receivers ever had on the Denver Broncos. Ever.
Oh.
And you lose.
That's the Jerry Jeudy experience, too, isn't it?
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
He's flapping his gums. He's talking to the crowd and a losing effort.
I can't hear him now.
Well, listen, man, this wasn't Jerry Judy's fault. I'll tell you that.
No, I know, but you know what I'm saying. Jerry Jeudy always seems to show up, and still you don't get the dub.
Exactly.
Tyler.
Well, there's Tyler Columbus. Say hi to Tyler.
All right, Tyler.
Hi, boys.
All right, your thoughts, Tyler. We're just laughing. Frankly, Tyler, we're just laughing at this right now because it's funny.
Yeah.
Your thoughts.
Dude, what a roller coaster. Can you guys hear me first off?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, all right, cool.
We got you.
I mean, what a roller coaster. Shout out to Mike Sanford and Raj, who apparently called this thing correctly.
I know.
They called the shootout of all shootouts in a prediction that had no logical sense, but man, did it play out that way. Look, man, this was awesome for me personally because what I wanted from Bo Nix, I wanted to see him win a shootout, and we've gotten a lot of awesome things from Bo Nix over the last few weeks. And now it's just another little box that you get to check. Bo Nix wins a shootout with the Browns, not a relatively good football team. Who could have seen a defensive meltdown coming down for the ages for the Broncos? But hey, they get it done. And if you like offense, then it was a fun game.
Hey, man, I give it you and Nate. Sam, I don't know. I was with you, Tyler. I thought first off, Denver would have to control the ball with the short passing game. I thought they'd lean on the run game. I thought, frankly, Cleveland would lean on the run game. I thought we'd get a quick, 2.5 hour game because of all this running. Right. And instead, this is like a college football game. It was like one of those conference championships or whatever from the past weekend. All we need now is for Denver to go back to Cleveland and plant a flag and everybody fight or something. I don't know.
I mean, how do you even start breaking this game down? Where do you even begin?
I don't know, man. I mean, the amount of defensive brain farts. I mean, I don't even know what you want to call it, but the amount of this. Go ahead.
Let me jump in because look, you and I, maybe not you to the point of me, but we've been a little hesitant to give Bo Nix his bouquet. All right. Look, this was not controlled, Tyler. I told D-Mac before you hopped on, I felt like you did. I want to see a game where it's a little bit on Bo Nix's shoulders, and it was tonight. And he came out. Look, I know he threw the pick. Don't throw up that 500 ball. But I'm really impressed with what I saw tonight. I really enjoyed what I saw. I love that he didn't get bothered. He didn't let the interceptions put him in a shell. The play calling, they didn't get scared. He kept coming at him. He's thrown his best arsenal of passes that we've seen. I'll give you this, D-Mac. I'm still not going 10 years for anybody because I can't. Okay. But if Nix and Payton are together, it'll be a good mix for a very long time. Mix for a very long time. And I don't know. It was a fun game. Was it not a fun game? Tyler's not smiling. Maybe. What are you, a defensive coach? Come on, man. That was fun.
No, it absolutely was fun, man. I like action. I remember the Rams Chiefs game from 3 or 4 years ago.
Yes.
That was awesome, right? I mean, we like points in America. And you know what? Yeah, when you survive the defensive mistakes that they had, I don't know. Give for the Lord, somebody tell me for the life of me, why is Pat Surtain not just lined up on Jerry Jeudy the entire game? I mean, good Lord, what are we doing here? They got one dude who's crushing us. And of course, Jerry Jeudy, of all people, sets the all-time record for the most yards ever had against the Denver Broncos in a single game. So things you can't explain. But you know what? I thought Bo Nix, I thought he pushed the ball down the field a lot more in this game because he felt the Jameis Winston effect. And I think he knew that we're going to have to win this thing in a shootout. And you could see that Bo Nix was taking chances that, were dangerous at times, but paid off also.
Okay,
well,
real quick.
There was somebody that got his wish. We'll get to that in 1 second. Do you see yourself traveling, working part-time, or moving somewhere warmer when you retire? Bo Smith, your Colorado Edward Jones financial advisor, can make your retirement goals a reality. He can help you figure out where you are today and how to get where you expect to be. Working together, you can plan for what you want and be ready to take on anything unexpected along the way. Call him at 303-758-8500 or visit edwardjones.com/Bo-Smith to get started today. That number again, 303-758-8500. Edward Jones, member SIPC. Raj, you wanted a shootout and you got it. And I mean, dude, you almost got it to the exact number. You and Sanford were on this.
Sanford almost called this game to the point when it was 34-32. Not so crazy now. We saw it coming somehow. I wasn't expecting 100 yards of pick sixes in the game, but that was nuts. And I know he threw 2 picks, but does this count as Bo Nix rising to the occasion in a shootout game? I think it does. He can't win.
Yes. Look, this was.
Go ahead.
So, you know what? I'll get out of your way here pretty soon because I'm at a bar that's going to close pretty soon. But seriously, Tyler, this was the most non-sterile environment though we've seen, right? Everything else just felt sterile, controlled, game plan. Keep it short. Don't put it on his shoulders. Don't put too much on him. Even in training camp, the preseason games. What I love about tonight is this thing got drunk. It went off the freaking rails. Everybody they were pissing themselves. It was so drunk. And so now we're throwing everywhere. And you know what I mean? Like all the safeguards. We took the regulators off. I love it. This is all I wanted to see. None of this felt safe. Someone's going to be pregnant after this game. That's how nuts this was.
So did you like Bo Nix just hucking it up like a million different times?
Yes, because it didn't feel like he was Sean Payton's robot tonight, dude. That's what drives me nuts. It did not feel like Sean Payton was playing a Madden game with his quarterback for the first time this whole year. I loved it. You know he was showing. How about Troy Aikman did you see where even Troy was getting down on him? Then he came back. And then at one point, Troy Aikman was talking about it. I couldn't believe Sean. How about that offsides, by the way? They fire off the line and they don't call anything.
Unbelievable.
Are you kidding me?
Is Sean Payton's the only one there that sees that thing?
No, we all should have
seen
that thing.
I started yelling.
Troy Aikman couldn't believe Sean Payton didn't run and punch a ref is what he basically said.
2 plays later, and Jameis gets punched in the nose, too, on a sack, and they don't call that thing.
The helmets rubbed each other.
Yeah, minor contact.
Fewer things have been called for roughing the passer in this league.
No, that was a cool moment for Bo Nix because he's been doing all the right things, and sometimes you got to win a backyard brawl, and that's what it was. I mean, you wouldn't think the backyard brawl would be with the Cleveland Browns, but it was, man. That turned into backyard brawl. I don't want him to be that full time, for the record, Andy. I know that was fun.
I know.
But what's made this guy good is the fact that he's protected the football, and he kind of said F it in this game, and it worked out. But you don't want to see that all day.
Who wants to give us their Levi Wallace review?
I got a toilet around the corner. You want me to take you in there for that, or what? I'd show you the restroom.
Remember when you told me earlier today that I was overreacting about Riley Moss being out for the secondary?
Hey, I stand corrected. Is Riley Moss, Tyler, that good? I mean, I guess. I guess.
Yeah, he is. I mean, I guess I didn't realize that the guy that we intended, because people forget Levi Wallace was actually the intended number 2 corner on this team. In free agency, they went out and paid him to be the number 2 corner, and then Riley Moss kind of came out of nowhere in training camp. But hell yeah, Riley Moss is that good. I didn't know that Levi Wallace was that bad, but it wasn't just Levi. I mean, Brandon in the safety, like he's making mistakes. He's taking the underneath routes. Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know where all these miscues came from defensively because that was way out of character.
Well, okay, first off, who made more money tonight, Riley Moss or Nick Bonito? Because they're both about to get paid after that performance. But listen, Jerry Jeudy finally showed the first-round talent and lived up to the evaluation of why the Broncos picked him there.
I knew he would. You know, if all the dudes that are motivated by revenge, come on, you know that dude is motivated by revenge.
Yeah, but who knew he would have the best receiving game ever. Against the Denver? Ever.
Yeah.
I mean,
dude, I watched.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I watched. There's a guy named Charles Dimry back in the day. Nobody remembers this. The Broncos are wearing the uniforms with the guy riding the dead donkey on the side. Remember that logo with the guy? Yeah. They were in those uniforms in Tim Brown. Tim Brown's still catching touchdowns on Charles Dimry somewhere in the ether. I thought that was the worst corner game I'd ever seen. This tops it tonight. I don't know. Oh, really? So what do we do? Do the Blues have to go? Do you got to get rid of the Blues? Can the Blues never come back?
What do you guys think about those, by the way? 1 out of 10.
It looked like Spaceballs with Rick Moranis because of the blue color, the white helmets looked extraordinarily large. So Sanford was just goofing around about Spaceballs and Rick Moranis and that, and I think he was right. No, I thought it was. I don't know, bro. I think if you're going to go with the white helmets, blue shirts, go with the white pants or something. It did not look right.
Yeah, we've gotten to the college age of uniforms taking over the NFL.
Yeah,
by the way.
Oh, okay, but seriously, why were we going in so much zone defense? Like, why didn't we just go man to man and just put Pat Surtain on Jerry Jeudy the whole game?
It's a great question. It's the whole concept. Like a great cornerback takes away half the field. No, he doesn't. Not if you don't stick him on the right guy. I don't know where he was half the time, but he wasn't on Jerry Jeudy.
They had a report. Apparently, they talked about this because Aikman made the comment at one point that they didn't want to give up when they were in man coverage. So that's why they weren't having Surtain allegedly follow Jeudy, but it didn't work. You should have scrapped that at the half. All right.
Yeah. Make an adjustment.
I don't know, man. Nick Bonito. Who wants Nick Bonito?
I mean, that guy has been a revelation. The pass rush by committee this year was not something that I think anybody saw coming, right? That was the one thing is, sure, it's a bunch of dudes that are above average at the beginning of the year when we were in training camp, but the fact that they've got one of the most terrifying pass rush units with a bunch of dudes who around the league, no one knew who they were. Bonito was the guy that, remember that draft? Everyone was talking about him during training camp, being that second round pick. He's going to have everything come off the edge. And then the year after, he didn't really do anything. It was going to be thought to be a complete waste of a draft. And now when you look back on it, it's a home run. It's an absolute home run. The guy has been every bit as advertised, and he changed the game today.
So we got one more year on his contract, right?
Bonito, I believe one more. And then are you going to franchise a pass rusher, though?
Well,
I mean, that's not cheap. You're probably better off just signing him to his new deal.
Yeah, and you're going to want to do it as soon as you can, but they got decisions to be made. I mean, Garrett Bowles is playing good football. He's up right now. My gut tells me they're going to let Garrett Bowles walk, and he might be playing himself into a new contract simply because he's been playing such good football. But the checkbook has been open on the offensive line. Everybody's gotten paid, and Garrett Bowles, he was quietly asking for a contract in the offseason. He didn't hold out like Cortland Sutton did, but he was asking for one, and he didn't get it. And to be at this point, though, they're going to have decisions to be made. You're going to have to make a decision on Garrett Bowles this season, which I don't know. What do you guys think they do on Garrett?
I think they let him walk. I think you said it. Look, Leggy has told all our shows whenever we've asked, where can they find more money? He's pointed out the only guy they've not messed with is Garrett Bowles, and that feels intentional. So
yeah, a lot of the mocks too, not mock drafts, but lot of them have him taking an offensive tackle.
Can I get a damn tight end at some point, please? Can we just have a damn tight end?
You're not going to get him in the first round this year, Andy. I don't know. Maybe a third round or something. I mean, they got some picks. Maybe in free agency. You know, they are going to have $100 million to spend. And again, they'll have to use some of that in the draft picks and guys they want to keep. I don't know, man. Bulls, I don't know.
It feels like he wants to be here. He could be a guy that takes a hometown discount or a cut.
Right. Like, how much are you going to pay Cortland Sutton, by the way? What are you going to do with him?
Yeah, I don't know.
What are you going to do with him?
I don't know, man. He's both security blanket. You can't take that away from your young QB. What else has he got that's a true security blanket?
Yeah, it's not going to feel great to pay him $30 million because
that's
the going rate for a number one wide receiver in the NFL, and he's got
what was the number,
leverage.
Tyler?
30 million is the going rate for a number one wide receiver. I think you could probably get Cortland Sutton done 23 to 25, and I'd be A-okay. I'd be cool.
So are you going to have enough money to get Cortland at 23 to 25, and then we're talking about re-signing Benito to one of the bigger edge rush contracts? What's it going to cost to get Benito in the door? Is it going to cost you north of what Bradley Chubb's getting on average at 22? Is it going to cost you 25, which is what like Montez Sweat and Myles Garrett are being paid right now?
Yeah.
Before you know it, you're up at half of that $100 million.
But here's what you can do, because, again, you can do what you did with Surtain, where Surtain's money's not kicking in for another year. You add Benito to 2026. He's got to play under that current deal, which would give him one more year, and then you're out from under Russ by the time the Benito one kicks in. But see, D-Mac, this is why you got to be careful with your $100 million, because if you get too funky with money down the, all of a sudden we got like a core we want to keep. Like, what are you going to do with John Franklin Myers? What are you doing with DJ Jones? What are you going to do with, you got a lot of guys you got to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 8-5 for the Denver Broncos. Monday Night Football. I had not realized, guys, the Broncos hadn't been on Monday Night Football in front of fans since 2018. How about that one? Yeah,
I hadn't either.
So there's Nick Benito on Monday Night Football with Scott Van Pelt. Good for him, man. How was Myles Garrett today? What'd they do with how'd that dude do? Anything interesting out of Myles? It looked like he had a little bit of a hamstring injury. I'm looking up his numbers right now. 4 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss. Nick Benito.
And you know what? They did it. They went one-on-one on Myles Garrett a lot in that game. They really didn't double him as much as I thought they would.
Yeah, they contained him just fine. I'm looking for Benito's numbers here. Oh gosh, why can't I find him?
We had the pick 6.
Well,
that was great.
He had he was this close away from a strip sack on the one that he batted the ball. I mean, he was present. He was in the quarterback's lap all day long.
That's kind of funny. Yeah, the stats aren't really 1 tackle for a loss, 1 sack, 2 pass defended, just a couple of quarterback hits. But it felt like more, didn't it? I mean, he had the pick 6 too, obviously, which was sensational. It felt like he was just around all the time.
Well, that's the beauty of playing. Sorry, Raj, go ahead.
Tyler. I felt like he was less effective than Max Crosby was in the 2 games that you saw Crosby, though.
Tyler, let me ask you something. How impressive was his pick 6, considering they showed the replay? Benito passed off 3 guys before he went to the back. I mean, did you notice that? He had a receiver come through his zone he started with, then he moved down to a tight end, then he went to the guy that he finally covered and made the pick 6 again. They tried to confuse him with 3 different players, and he stayed home to make that play. I thought that was really impressive.
Yeah, and Jameis, he kind of had all day on that one, if I remember correctly. I don't think that there was any real pressure there. He went through his progression, and then Benito was just he was just hovering there. Like it was a weird one. I almost think that Jameis saw that it was Benito, and he's like, yeah, I could still sneak that thing into that window because that's a defensive lineman.
Hey, let's let Andy go because he's been in that bar all night, which is off-rouse.
Hey, it's my guy, Ken. We love Ken. 90
we love Ken. No, we love it.
No, D-Mac, awesome. Look, we could play that stage. See that stage?
Let's
that
do
could
it.
Be the Fatty's Big Chance
reunion.
One night only reunion.
Let's go. Let's go. It's three chords
Tyler
on the
can
floor.
Play triangle.
Sure. Yeah, we have stunning amount of talent at the radio station.
Raj can be our ska dance guy.
All right, so
yeah.
just before we let Andy go, where are you with Bo, just a final word on Bo from tonight.
I told you. Now, I this is the most fun I've had with Bo. I enjoyed this. I liked what I saw. I like the fact that this wasn't like I can't. The only word I can think of is sterile. The game plan, the game got out of hand. They had to answer, and they had to have this game. And I love that he was throwing all over the field. I loved it. I loved it. So I'm a Bo guy. I'm starting to believe. I'm not going to give you the 10-year proclamation unless you know that Sean Payton's going to be around here for 10. But this is, you know what? Maybe I'll get the son of Bo jersey and I'm to the Jersey status. How about Jersey, D-Mac? I'm not going to buy a jersey, but I'll buy a jersey.
Hey, they'll still run you about 150.
Is that good enough for you now? You feel good enough now?
I feel fine. I feel great. I think everybody should feel great. The Broncos are 8-5. They have the latest bye week you can have. You're gonna play Cleveland, which are the Colts,
Indy,
which I don't think the Colts are as good as the Browns. I don't know how you guys feel about it. They got a better record, but I don't think they're as good. And that should be a win too. Gives you 9. You just withstood the most ridiculous. You just survived an absurd offensive attack on you on your home field, and you won.
Yeah. Nobody saw coming.
Well, Raj did, I guess, kind of.
Yeah, I
mean,
guess
Raj
better believe I did.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
but how?
I had no methodology behind it, Tyler. I just wanted to see a bunch of points today.
But like,
it was a complete guess.
How are they that much worse just because they don't have Riley Moss? How does that make any sense? I mean,
you got to remember, Jameis was a number 1 overall pick once upon a time. He's a gunslinger.
By the way, does it not feel like 25 years ago that Jameis Winston was the quarterback for Tampa Bay? Like, was that not like 25 years ago?
Yeah.
To your point, Andy, to give Jameis Winston props, like he throws the first pick 6, right? And you're like, oh, that's going to rattle him. Fuck no. Just keeps going, man. Like he literally doesn't give a shit. It is wild to watch.
I told our group, I go, you watch, he's going to go 80 fucking yards. And what was it, 95?
It was the first. It was ridiculous. It was like and he could have had Jeudy for another deep touchdown earlier in the game, too.
Thank God he didn't.
Great throw to Mims, right? And it's funny on the TV broadcast. Troy Aikman shitting all over. Oh, Bo's not reading things very well. Next pass, 93 yards for a touchdown, which is pretty funny. But the next play is to Jeudy for a touchdown.
Was that not the ultimate Jameis Winston experience? I mean, you couldn't get a bigger Jameis Winston experience than that.
Unbelievable Jameis Winston experience.
Did you guys think Sean was going to go for it at the end of the game?
Yes.
Oh, I did.
I was
100%.
begging him to kick the field goal.
Let's talk about that. Because it looks like they were thinking of it. I would understand if he went for it, guys, because the defense wasn't stopping anybody. So you did have to rely on your defense, or
Andy, just leave.
You would have had to thought, Andy, you want to go? Andy, we'll
no, here. Come look at.
No, just let him go. Just tell him to go.
Here, show me your Broncos suspend. Look at this. What, you like this, huh?
He doesn't want to go.
Now you can't see it. There you go. Bronco overalls. We're all gonna go get drunk. Woo!
I thought we were
I'm
seeing
leaving,
a whole
boys.
lot less than overalls.
All right, Andy, we'll let you go. We love you.
I don't know how to get out of here. Drop me, D-Mac. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
All right, we'll see you. Our guy, Andy Lindahl. Yeah, talk about that decision to Tyler go for the field goal instead of the touchdown there. What'd you like or not like? Or
someone definitely got in Sean Payton's ear because he was going for that. He was absolutely going for it. It took him 2 seconds to get back to his play sheet. He had the play call out. They get out there. Somebody upstairs says, "Hey, Sean, let's call timeout. Let's talk this thing over." And I'll give Sean credit for actually calling the timeout because some head coaches might just be too boneheaded to even listen to input. It was the right decision to kick the field goal. Absolutely the right decision.
All right, you want to hear? Let's hear from Sean a little bit. This is a little,
how did you win when, Winston and Jeudy are moving the ball all over the yard? It was about big plays.
Yeah, look, obviously, when we go back and look at that tape, we're going to look at a lot of things defensively that we would have done differently. We have to. And yet, we had 2 interceptions for touchdowns, a third interception. I told him in the locker room, look at, it wasn't pretty. And yet, in the end, we did what we had to do, especially late.
Coach, you talk a lot about momentum swings in games and grabbing it back quickly, whether it was the Mims catch, the pick sixes. How'd you see your team tonight kind of grab the momentum right back?
You lose track of it because there were so many different big plays there. Of course, Mims had the 3rd and long touchdown. They come right back. And, there were just so many of those big plays. I thought the turnover battle, was close, and then we ended up winning it, and that really sealed the game. We won the rushing battle. Obviously, there's a number of things that we'll clean up defensively. We had some penalties set us back offensively, especially in one series. But, I'm proud of the way that we fought, and we got that next win that was most important.
How close were you to keeping the offense on the field there?
Yeah, I had a play, and then I just wanted to see what we were getting, and I didn't like the play once I saw what we were getting. It was a full blitz zero look. So I felt like that time helped me to, kick the field goal.
Wow. Tyler, that's pretty clever on Sean's part. You buying that one? He just explained his decision making.
Well, yeah. I mean, I kind of assumed that somebody got in his ear and was like, "Hey, man, let's talk this thing over." But if that's really true, I give him a ton of credit.
That's pretty impressive.
That's cool. Yeah, I had a play that I liked. I didn't like what I saw after I called the play. So let's call timeout. Let's adjust, kick the field goal. That's a pretty mature decision. I mean,
right?
We still have to call Sean Payton a mature dude, but that's a mature decision. I don't love this call right now.
I had a play. I wanted to see what they were putting out there. Didn't like it. Field goal. Raj, pretty good. I
thought it was a good decision to change his mind, because in that situation, you brought in a variable that wasn't on the table. You could have lost the game right then and there by not getting the 4th and 1. And that's something that you could not afford to do, because this essentially, it's not a lock, but you're pretty damn close to getting into the playoffs. And God forbid they stuff you on 4th and 1. And that's the decision that keeps you from the postseason. It was a brilliant timeout to get his ducks in a row. I thought it would have been a huge mistake.
I love the justification of it. So often with Nathaniel Hackett, it seemed like, the one thing I love about Sean Payton, whatever decision he makes, whether you like it or whether it works out or not, Tyler, he's thinking about it. That there's reason behind every decision he makes. Mm-hmm. I like that.
Yeah, and I think you've really seen the offense take it to the next level the last few weeks. They talked about it on the broadcast that this team has got the fewest amount of pre-snap motions and shifts and all that of anyone in the NFL. I don't remember if it was literally dead last, but they're at the bottom of the list. And that's intentional, that he's intentionally trying to keep the weight off of his quarterback and not have him thinking too much at the line of scrimmage. But you really can't see, if you're paying close attention, you can see this offense. He has been way more creative over the last 3 or 4 weeks. And I do think it started when he made a decision with Marvin Mims to put him in the backfield. That kind of opened up the wheels for Sean. He's like, all right, now it's time to get a little bit more creative here. And again, Marvin Mims, like a typical Marvin game. This one was better because he had that one huge play. But again, it's not like Marvin is catching 12 passes a game, but the catches that he gets are just very effective.
All right, we love all your comments. Hang on one second. Do you see yourself traveling, working part-time, or moving somewhere warmer when you retire? Bo Smith, your Colorado Edward Jones financial advisor, can make your retirement goals a reality. He can help you figure out where you are today and how to get where you expect to be. Working together, you can plan for what you want and be ready to take on anything unexpected along the way. Call him at 303-758-8500 or visit edwardjones.com/Bo-Smith to get started today. That number again, 303-758-8500. Edward Jones, member SIPC. Give me your favorite, craziest moment of the game, Raj.
Favorite, craziest moment of the game for me probably came at the end, because I thought we were going to get another pick six, and I thought it was going to be 103 yards from a linebacker. That's what I thought was going to happen. I thought the next closest one, I honestly, man, the interception that Ward forced was nuts. That was an elite play. I thought it went off some dude's helmet. The fact that he tipped that up with his hand,
It's great.
I thought it hit a helmet.
Yeah. Tyler?
That was Plinko football.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, the whole game was drunk. It was back and forth. I don't know. I don't know what the drinking game was. I don't know if they had to take a shot every time somebody had a bad pass, if they had to take a shot every time there's an interception. But the whole game was drunk, man, and that's what made it so entertaining.
Could you possibly give Jameis Winston $30 million a year to be your franchise quarterback?
I'd pay him before Deshaun Watson.
I gotcha, but I mean,
yes, especially at 30. Especially at 30.
Yeah.
In today's market, where if you want a quarterback, you got to pay him 50. If you could get a quarterback like Jameis Winston locked up for 30, yeah, man, I think the Cleveland Browns could be a dang competitive team. You look at Kevin Stefanski's a good coach, man. I've been on this for a long time now, and he's not going to get the credit he deserves because he's in the world's crappiest situation. But he's a good coach, and I do think Kevin Stefanski could make some noise with Jameis.
I'm trying to see if I can get Jerry Jeudy on ESPN. He's on ESPN right now. Let me see if I still have it here. Give me a second.
I mean, I know Jameis threw him out of the game, but honestly, they're driving. I know it's a 9-point game, but they're still alive at that point. Like, at least he makes them relevant.
Yeah. Do you guys want to hear a little, see if I can figure this out, little Jerry Jeudy? You curious what he has to say or not?
Yeah, give it to me.
All right. It was an insane game by Jerry Jeudy. I don't know how you just don't laugh about it. All right, here we go. See if I can do this. All right.
Extravagant as a if he scored it certainly was. Here's Jeudy after a great performance, ultimately in a close loss.
Did you hear the boos every time you caught the ball?
I heard it.
What I mean,
that was a lot of boos, huh?
It sounded like it.
What that means? There was a lot of catches too.
What were the faces for a team being in that atmosphere? What was it like as a player, as a competitor?
It was high emotions, but you all, like I said before, you all want to beat the team that you used to play for, but we came up short. Like I said, we got to find a way to finish, find a way to win.
Jerry, I'm sure you would trade in all of those yards to walk away from here with victory.
Yes, I would.
No, you wouldn't.
I need that W. I was just one step closer to get to the playoffs. We need that.
All right, he's just flat out lying right there.
Oh, he's happy.
There's no way.
He couldn't care less that they lost the game. Are you kidding me?
What's the first thing that he said?
A lot of catches, wasn't it? A lot of catches.
Yeah, sure was.
A lot of catches.
Yeah. A lot of catches for a loss.
Would you trade all those catches, an unbelievable record to what, be 4-7 or no, 3-8, 4-8, to be 4-8 instead of 3-9?
That dude couldn't care less.
No, of course not.
Different question if they're in the playoff hunt. Yeah, a win on a team that's going to be picking in the top 9 of the draft this year, top 8 of the draft.
He is we talked about it earlier today, though. The guy is a baller, though. I mean, the dude can play football. There's no doubt.
He was open the whole game.
Yeah.
All right, but, there's elements to that.
What?
Good. Well, he's fast. He can catch a ball. He's got good routes. I mean,
Oh, yeah, no, the dude's a good player. Yeah, there's no question he is. I mean, he is an insane route runner. I can't remember who was talking about this. It might have been during the broadcast or it might have been before, but what makes Jerry so unique is his ability to hit full speed cuts is insane. Arguably the best I've ever seen. 9 out of 10 wide receivers, they pace themselves as they get into their cut, right? Because they can't handle it. Jerry is balls to the wall. He'll make an insane move, cut out of that thing on a dime. He's always been one of the best route runners in the NFL, but he's been a mental head case. And I knew that he's the type of guy that is highly motivated by revenge. So I predicted he was going to have like a 75, 80-yard game. I can't remember what I said on the show today.
I
thought he would have a good game, but not this.
You didn't call 235?
No.
By the way,
didn't have that one in the DraftKings bet slip.
I had the over at 210. Raj on Twitch saw a great tweet. Jerry Jeudy is the Matt Duchene of Carmelo Anthony's. I think he is that guy. Means. Well, it just means every time he touched anything he was involved in, it was boos. And then he was baiting the crowd. And he's a villain, man. He is
at the end of that game
a villain.
At the end of that game and in the post press conference when he does make that comment of there were a lot of catches there. It did echo when Duchene scored. I think it was like his 30th of the year, and Patrick Waugh went, "Oh yeah, big cheer," because the Avs were so horrible that season. Duchene was like, "Yeah, look at me, I scored."
Oh, I remember that. I remember that well.
Big cheer, big cheer. No, I mean, good for him. It was a good game. Obviously, no one saw north of 200 yards and a touchdown coming from it. But
I mean, boys, that wasn't good. That was great. That was great.
Yeah, it was historic.
That was phenomenal. Yeah,
it was historic. Coach and I did the trade tree, and I think we came up with it. It's like Troy. You come out of that trade with like Troy Franklin, and then one of the picks becomes Devon Vele. Do you still take the trade?
No. I mean, look, when you ask it as simple as that, would I rather have Jerry Jeudy or Vele and Franklin? Yeah, I'd rather have Jerry Jeudy. But it's not as simple as that. I mean, what you got out of it is a bit of the Bones Highland trade, right? It was an addition by subtraction. Sean Payton's got his team. It's his squad. It's his guys. There's nobody left over that he's worried about. I don't know. Maybe there's one or two guys, and I'm not even sure who those guys would be. Maybe he thought it was going to be Cortland Sutton, but even Cortland Sutton's played himself out of that thing. This is just his team. So that's what you got, is you got a coach that had everything that he wanted. So was that worth it? Arguably, yes.
All right. What else about tonight? I'm trying to think of everything that was going. It was crazy. All right. This is
Michael Jaleel McLaughlin, man. Have we talked about him? Was I too late?
Go for it. Let me give you some numbers on. No, you're definitely not too late. Jaleel McLaughlin, 14 carries for 84 yards. Long of 18, pretty good. So, Coach Sanford in the mix. Oh, he's on the road. I have this issue too with these things, Raj. You know, sometimes it takes a second to pick up. So, Coach, when you get in here, there you go, Coacher. Let's
Coach see what you for himself.
Look at he's walking from the game.
Can I just ask Mike, like were you being facetious when you said that the game wasn't over when they were down by 9 with 30 seconds left?
When did I say that?
At the end of the game.
You texted our whole show thread about it.
There was 30 seconds left, and they're down by 9. Or what was it? They were down by 9, right? What was the score? Am I
9?
Yeah.
I'm guessing it was when I sent the text. It was 58 seconds, and they were driving. You gave up 500 yards of passing. Is anything, guys? That Tyler, this is not your territory. This is like whack football territory.
Don't you stay in my lane, me. Don't you put that stay in your lane.
No, this is like monumentally bad football end of game scenarios that very easily could have played out. I major in those, Tyler. Not clean, well executed NFL football.
What was the locker room like, and Coach, and all that sort of stuff, Mike?
Well, I just went to the Jerry Jeudy press.
Oh, you went to the Browns locker room. We just played a little bit of that.
Yeah, he was great. I was actually, I mean, it's a bit of a kind of a moment in the sun for Jerry, I think. It is. It's like, hey, you guys missed me a little bit? Like, it wasn't, I don't think there was a ton of animosity. There might be a quote in there or two, but it seemed like he was just excited to have the performance he did.
Now we got, we'll take, Raj, we'll get you out of here for a second. Vic Lombardi is walking around a little bit. Vic, what are your thoughts about being in the locker room?
Well, I was teasing Coach Sanford. That's like an old Western Athletic Conference game that we just witnessed tonight. That really was. That was BYU Utah back in the heyday. That was 1980s AFC West. That was Eric Coryell. That was Bengals Chargers. That was just a crazy game and one that I'll remember for quite some time because how many games, guys, have we slept through in this place over the last 8 years, right? I did not sleep today. I actually stayed awake and watched every second. It was juicy. It was fun. It was a hell of a game.
Well, we've had a chance. We've had a chance to chat. So go ahead, Mike and Vic. Well, let's start with Vic. Overall thoughts, aside from that, about the game. What did you learn tonight? What did you think about tonight, Mike? We'll get to you on that too.
Well, first off, when they go back and look at the tape, obviously they're going to have a lot to go through defensively. They got to make some adjustments in that secondary. We know the value of Riley Moss now opposite Patrick Surtain. He means a lot to what they want to accomplish out there. And the other fellow, man, oof, he was on an island for quite some time. That's number one. Number two, Coach, did you notice, man, they are not afraid to unleash the long ball. Earlier in the season, how many times in the first 3 weeks of the season were we saying, let them throw it, let them throw it? Well, tonight it was the opposite. Tonight I was like, hey, chill out a little bit on the long ball.
I agree.
It was crazy how many times they threw it downfield.
I agree, Vic. I agree, but it was necessary tonight. It was necessary going up against Jameis Winston. I think that Bo Nix felt it. I think that he knew that this was going to have to be won in a shootout. You don't want that, and it's what's made Bo Nix so good is he's protected the football. But you could tell that he just threw up some literal the definition of Hail Marys in that game.
I don't know if you guys heard Coach Payton afterwards regarding that deep throw he tried to hit Mims in the fourth quarter that was picked off. And Payton quickly took responsibility for that. He said it was a bad call, wrong coverage. So he took it all on him. I guess we'll never know. I mean, Coach, is that the quarterback's call or was that the call that went in and Bo Nix just stuck with it? What do you think happened there?
Well, it looked like about 3 other Loncholas over the middle of the field across Bo's body today. It was just the one that they caught. You know, the one earlier to Cortland Sutton where Bo's rolling out to his right and throws it all the way across across the field. That was wild. And it was an uncharacteristic game. And to Tyler's point, I agree with Tyler. It kind of almost required it. You had to play a little bit loose, and that's what Bo did.
All right.
Hey guys, I'm in the stadium. I'm back in the stadium now. Check this out. This is pretty cool. So everything's still up. There's the Sports Center guys. There's Van Pelt with Stanford Steve over there. They got the game going on the big board. They're probably pissed that I'm on the turf right now, so I better step off real quick. But this place is still lively. I think it's just so cool, man. How long has it been since Mile High has been this awake, right? It's Monday Night Football. There was electricity in this stadium tonight. The fans were into it.
Hey.
You got national people here covering the game. God, it's been so long. I miss this, fellas.
And you got to give ESPN a little bit of credit here because most people thought they were going to flex this game, and they did not flex it because they saw two teams that were playing pretty good football. And I give them credit for seeing in the Browns what Coach and myself saw as well. That was a hot football team. That was a hot football team. So ESPN stuck with it, and it paid off.
Hey Vic, you want to go?
Tyler,
talk?
real quick, Tyler. One thing I noticed, man, I was really concerned about the pass rush of the Browns. Obviously, Myles Garrett. There were a lot of times where there was no chip help. Did you see the same thing? Garrett Bowles had himself a good day outside of the 2 penalties. He handled his own against one of the hottest pass rushers in football.
I said the exact same thing before you hopped on, that I was actually amazed at how little chip and just channel presence they gave on Myles Garrett. For the most part, it was a one-on-one matchup. And Garrett Bowles, man, for as frustrating as he can be with the penalties, he's been rock solid. He's
really
been rock
good.
solid this year.
He looked clean in his sets. One last thing for Tyler. I want to nerd out on O-line play. Did you see the I guess it'd be the last Benito, the Benito sack toward the end? Did you see the over chip? It's
my worst nightmare.
Oh,
No. It's my worst nightmare. I didn't want chips from the running back. Give me a tight end. I'll take a tight end chip or a tight end presence. But I hate running back chips because that happens all the time. You know that you've got a chip, but then all of a sudden he chips you two gaps inside. And honestly, I felt bad for that tackle because I don't know what he could have done differently.
Yeah, it was impressive.
Vic, you want to interact with some of the fans right there? You want to? It feels like
they're
you're
not really fans. Everybody left here are just employees. They're the ESPN employees setting up for Van Pelt show.
Oh,
I have
all
so
right.
much respect, by the way, for Scott Van Pelt. He's the best. He's the best at what we do. He really is.
All right, so Vic will just any final thoughts? You went to the game, you're just back from LA because of course you stay in LA when you play in LA.
Well, I'm going to tell you guys what I told.
Okay.
Already wrote this game off and said it was an easy dub and blah blah blah, and I said you can't do that, man. You can't do that with Jameis Winston because
D-Mac,
he will hurt you and then he will hurt himself all at the same time.
Yep.
He's like that young, awkward kid, that gangly kid. You can't trust him with a knife in his hand. That's what he is. And he hurt his team, but he also gave them a game. And he's the reason why the Broncos, for a long time tonight, man, you were worried about losing this game, man. I think he's the starting quarterback in this league. Can you tame him? Probably not. But you tell me,
10
is
years.
Cleveland better off
10
with
years.
Jameis or what they had before?
Jameis.
But that's Vic. That's a $30 million plus decision. You realize that, right? Like if a team's going to do that, that's 30 million buckaroonies.
It's not my money. All I know is he makes the game fun to watch.
Oh, no doubt about it. We were laughing. We were laughing in the press box watching it, Tyler, because it was comical. And I left to get back here. What was the vibe in the stadium, Mike? Near the end, like what the crowd, the whole that whole thing. What was it like?
Hey, hold on real quick. You got the big hitters on, and I got a bedtime. So you guys that are at the game and everything, I'm working hard at my couch, and the bed's calling my name. So I'm gonna bow out here, boys.
All right, Tyler. We'll see you tomorrow.
Good night.
And we almost are in the dark there with Coach. So yeah, guys, tell me about the atmosphere in the stadium.
Well, you know how it is. We're inside the press box. It's like being in an aquarium. We can't hear a damn thing. I mean, you're like a goldfish knocking up against the glass. But I could say this. There were some empty seats in the upper deck. Did you guys notice that?
There were. Yes. Yes, I did. All right, Vic's a little frozen now. Coach?
The other thing that shocked me.
I should be back on. Can you hear me now?
The other thing that shocked me, D-Mac.
Yeah. I know something shocked.
I'll leave you with this. I'm going to leave you with this. When I can you hear me now? Wait.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
This in. Can you get me or not?
Yes.
You got me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
When I walked up to the stadium, I walked right at the very start. I was standing right here, and there was a jogging club of about 20 people jogging around Mile High Stadium. And I sat there and I said to myself, what the hell are people doing? There's a freaking football game on in there. It's night the Broncos are playing, and you guys are running around like a bunch of joggers? What the hell are you doing? But what is this? Isn't your little exercise pad? This is a football stadium. This is Denver. That kind of stuff would never happen in the 80s. Are you kidding me? The only people running around here in the 80s probably stole something.
Dude, that is going to be a solid 8 to 10 minute tomorrow morning. It's going to be great. And we'll talk to you and listen to you and see you then. Thanks,
hey,
Vic. I'll let you go.
Vic. You still on for a sec?
I haven't gotten rid of him, but he's having a problem. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, I can speak on behalf of myself, and I think Vic, tonight was one of those rare nights where I felt like a kid again. Like I did not want to leave that stadium. In fact, my wife was begging me to come home because I'm waking up at 3:45 a.m. tomorrow to be on 9 News. I was sitting there waiting for the Jameis Winston post-game presser. Like I was gonna nerd out until freaking, I don't care, midnight. It was just one of those days that just felt so, I don't know, it reminded me of football of my youth. And I don't know what it was. It might have been that it was sloppier, it was wilder, but that was just awesome. It was just a great night of football.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Vic, what was the Broncos locker room like?
Can you play the Jerry?
Say
it was
again?
great. I spoke to Jonathan Cooper and Marvin Mims. Can you play the Jerry Jeudy sound we got in the Cleveland locker room? Have you played it yet?
I played a little bit because it was live on ESPN, but I.
Oh, okay.
We did play something.
Well, then don't
we did
worry
play
about
something.
We'll have it. Yeah, we'll have it all. There wasn't anything crazy. I thought we'd get some F-bombs or something. It was nothing like that.
Nah.
Although Jonathan Cooper in the locker room afterwards, I asked him about Jerry Jeudy, and he said, boy, Jerry Jeudy hates us, doesn't he? And he said it in a laughing manner.
All right. Well, follow Vic on Twitter and
right,
and listen tomorrow. And Mike, why don't you hang on for a second? Nice job, Vic. And where are you right now?
I'm in the media parking lot. I'm a little different than Scott Hastings. I actually choose not to operate my motor vehicle while I'm doing live stream broadcasts.
I understand.
So yeah, just making a smart business decision for my family. So here I am.
Well, I won't keep you too long. We'll just take you for another minute. So the story now with the Broncos is there's going to be some concerns, though, right? I mean, you don't walk away from this unscathed, right?
Right, but I will say this, D-Mac, and I know it was kind of a little bit of a comedic bit that I was doing from last night to this morning. Last night on this program, Altitude After Dark, what did I predict? I predicted a Browns victory, 31-21.
Yeah. Well,
you
made so many predictions. You got one of them right.
Well, but here's what the microcosm of that, and coming from the coaching background I have, is that's a team that you don't freaking know what you're going to get because of Jameis Winston. You don't know if if he makes 3 fewer bad decisions in this game, let's just call it like it is, right? Got through for 497 yards. He threw a total of 6 touchdowns, but 14 points counted for the wrong team. And that's what you just don't know with Jameis Winston. He can get the hot hand and play smart, which he did in fits and starts. But then there's an inevitability at some point he's going to do what he's always done. That's the reason he's a journeyman quarterback in his 10th year.
All right, let me give you some numbers as we walk out the door, okay? 28 first downs to 19 for the Browns. Passing first downs, 24 to 11. Third down, the Browns, who are worst in the league, 32nd in the league, coach. 9 for 19. Broncos 6 of 13. So an extraordinary game for them on third down. They're worst in the league. 552 yards to 400. Passing of mind-blowing 400 in total, 475 total yards. Although Winston himself had more, you lose some yards on a variety of different plays. Yeah. 58 passing attempts for Jameis Winston, 35 for Bo Nix. The Broncos did sack him 3 times. Not bad. I thought they would get him 5 times. 3 times, really not that bad. Bo Nix, coach, did not take a sack. How about that?
Yeah, no, he did a good job. There were a couple where he got rid of the football right in time. He was retreating. He found at least an eligible to throw it in their direction. Myles Garrett shut out. I do believe Nick Bonito. He is in the conversation of defensive MVP if this continues. And back to the original question, one before, you asked about some of the concerns and questions about this Broncos defense. Well, first off, you're not going to play against the Mike Leach air raid for the next 5-6 weeks. I mean, that was caution to the wind, Jameis Winston, gunslinger mode. You're not going to see that. But I do think that Brandon Jones' health and Riley Moss' health are as unbelievably paramount as anybody on this roster, and that played out tonight in real time. There were communication issues. Levi Wallace, who I had my big concerns. Did I not talk about that with you, D-Mac? I had my concerns about what I saw. As much man coverage as Vance Joseph likes to play, I was concerned about him. And, it was just a great football game, and I do think that this is not going to be the norm going forward for the Broncos defense. I don't. And at the end of the day, you create 3 takeaways, you score 14 points on defense. And frankly, even if you give up 500 and some odd yards, you probably take that because you change the game and you frankly win the game.
Great job, Coach. We'll see you on 9 News in the morning. And of course, morning sprint with Raj from 10 to noon. And after that, it's myself and Scott Hastings with Tyler Columbus and Nate and Andy after that. And the boys will wake you up in the morning with Kaner and Moj and Vic, and we'll have a lot of fun things to talk about, bro. And it is exciting to have a playoff quality team at this time of year. It's been a minute, and it feels great. Great job. Always fun sitting next to you at the games, by the way. And you took one for the team today. We'll switch next week. You know what I'm talking about. I promise you. We'll switch. We'll make it, We'll figure it out. All right, I'll let you go. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay, Coach?
All right, my man.
All right, brother. Final thoughts on this amazing game in a second. Don't let concerns about shifts in the market disrupt your long-term financial goals. Edward Jones financial advisor Bo Smith can help. He'll work with you on an investment strategy for long-term results. Edward Jones can give you the tools and knowledge for a steady approach to hitting your financial targets. So get started by giving Bo a call at 303-758-8500 or visit edwardjones.com/Bo-Smith. That's BEAU-Smith. Edward Jones, member SIPC. We want to thank you guys for watching. This is a record for us. This is the most people that we've had all fall watching us at one time on Altitude After Dark. So make sure you like and subscribe to whatever platform you're on. We're on a variety of platforms tonight, but we hope to bring you the best content on the radio, the best digital content, the most fun and the most exclusive, unique content of your favorite Denver sports, all your Denver sports. So again, we'll be back at it tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. with Brett Kane on the radio. Moj and Vic join him at 7. The morning sprint with Raj and Mike Sanford, myself, Tyler, and Scott from noon to 3, Nate and Andy. After that, we got Birdo on until we have, wait, I got to think about it. We got this, actually, hold on. Yeah, we got the Sabres, Avs Sabres, and then later tomorrow night, we've got Golden State at Ball Arena against the Nuggets. So both the Avs and Nuggets back in action. You can hear it on AM 950 and Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. What a game. What a night for the Broncos. We appreciate you watching Altitude After Dark.